Start off right this time.
Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek Moviecast, episode 325 of the year, edition 2016. Whew, that's a mouthful. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Mike Sneedy.
I'm back.
Yeah, he's here. Look at that. He's here. Wave, Mike, wave. Like, there we go.
Remember me?
Yeah, he's here. Taking time out of his busy schedule. Corey Feinsod.
Happy fucking New Year!
Yeah. And Tony Korkanakis.
Get fucked 2016.
Yeah, fuck you 2016. So, wow, yeah, guys, we are now in 2017. It is, it is fresh, but at least it's here, you know? Tony, you were posting on Facebook about, like, it's already here. This was on the 31st. I'm like, whoa, hold up. Anything could happen between then and the new year.
Yeah, no, it was true. It was true.
Yeah.
I was just saying, you know, it's like... I was like, what can go wrong in the last 12 hours of the year? Yeah.
I thought you were jinxing us all when you posted that. I was like, oh, we're all screwed. I don't know what else could have gone wrong, but, man.
Something was going down.
It was like a downward spiral. You know, we lost Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher's mom.
The year started off with, what's his name?
David Bowie.
Oh, yeah.
David Bowie.
It was bookend.
Then Prince.
Yeah. It was
then
bookended.
Alan Rickman. Then...
Well,
it's just...
Yeah.
He wasn't that much later in the year, I don't think.
No.
There were...
But, I mean...
it just started and it kept going.
Oh, I was thinking of Alan Thicke. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Alan Thicke just went, yeah.
Oh, yeah, him.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Hans Gruber, Alan Rickman.
Mm-hmm.
But we also forget we lost, if you're more sports-leaning, Muhammad Ali and Arnold Palmer as well this year.
Yes, that's right, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people... 2016 just was not a good year. There's a lot of shit that happened.
You have their heroes that you grow up watching.
Yeah.
You know, and it's as we get older, it's like, oh man, they're getting older too.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you can see.
Well, that was the thing with a lot of these, though. They were like in their 50s and 60s.
They were younger.
They weren't that old.
Yeah.
Considering that, yeah, like context-wise, yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I was about to say, it's like 50 is not that old, relatively speaking, these days.
Yeah, no, 50's not that old. It's just, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
George Michael.
I'd rant about health people eating things, but I'm not going to. I'll save you all that, and not share my opinions on food. Speaking of food, Mike opened a new restaurant. Congrats, Mike.
Yeah. Thank you.
So.
Yep. Ignore Jim and come on in.
I eat there. It's good.
Yes.
It's very good.
There are some healthy options.
Yeah.
For those who need to do that.
There's nothing wrong with meats. I can tell you that because I've had that nice burger there with a lettuce wrap on it. That's the way you eat that. It's good. The jalapenos you guys have, very spicy. I got to say that. I like it. I liked it a lot.
There's
so
full jalapeno there, yep.
Yeah, so it's a BGR burger, which I don't know if anybody's...
Does that stand for like burgers grilled right? Is that?
That's the new tagline they got going there. Yep.
Oh.
It used to just be an abbreviation, but now it's an acronym.
Yeah.
Little shift.
Yeah.
Are they actually grilled?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it cooked to order too. Cooked to order.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't get
Which
that
you usually don't get.
Yeah. They got sweet potato fries, which, you know, are better than regular French fries. And then they also have some salad options and stuff. But then they have some milkshakes, which seem to be your most popular item over there. But, yeah, I don't know. But anyways, so let's get into this is our of the year 2016 for, like, best, worst, most anticipated for 2017, biggest surprise of last year. We're going to add a new category this year of most recommended TV show. We talk about TV shows a lot on this. And rather than do a best and worst TV show of the year, I thought we'd just do a most recommended. I mean, we can shit on a lot of things. We could love a lot of things. Let's just do the most recommended. But let's kick it off. We're going to kick this right off. Well, we could probably mention... we could probably mention real quick how well Rogue One's doing at the beginning of this podcast. So before we get into this. But Rogue One's over 790 million worldwide now.
Can't stop that Disney train, man.
No.
Just
yeah.
taking over.
I just wanted to mention that real quick. We'll talk about it more next week, I'm sure. I mean, I won't. You guys will talk about it more next week. I'll be on vacation. So, this is my last podcast until January 20 or January, whatever, 17th ish, whenever we record that week. So I'll be gone, but they'll be bringing you guys podcasts. Don't worry. So, anyways, of the year, let's get into the worst of the year real quick. Let's talk about that.
Oh, we're starting off with the worst?
Yeah, I thought we'd start off on the down note, end on the high note. You want to end on your best category at the end, which is the best movie of the year. So we're going to go worst movie of 2016. The movie that came out in 2016, not the one that you watched in 2016. So I will, I'm going to kick this one off. Oh, Mike, you have a good one on there. Mike, kick it off, actually. I like yours.
I had
first,
that one on mine.
like
as
the
well.
first one.
Yeah.
Oh,
First thing I wrote, because there's a few other things that I saw a movie that did come out this year, but it wasn't in theaters, and I don't know. I'm going to count that. It's not the same caliber of movie.
No, movies, man, movies. Let's go movies. Come on.
Movies,
Not straight to
alright.
DVD.
It wasn't straight to DVD.
Was it? You said it wasn't in the theaters.
It was. Oh, I didn't see it in theaters.
Oh, okay.
I saw it on demand.
Anyway,
Whatever.
Go ahead.
No, you know what? I'm going to go with. Of course, I didn't see too many movies I legitimately thought would be bad. There's even 2 movies on here, not on here, that happened this year that I wanted to see that I'm pretty sure would be worse than all these movies, even though I wanted to see them. That being X-Men Apocalypse and the Turtles movie.
X-Men
I didn't get to
Apocalypse
see them.
Was almost
So-
my winner. That was my. I believe that might be part. There's so many bad movies that I ended up watching. Looking back, that I actually had one other written on here, but I know that I had Apocalypse in my mind as well. Resurgence. Independence Day was gonna win it, but my other one won it. So, but go ahead.
I missed all of those. So like my worst is like going to be like 6.57 level, and my best is going to be like 8.5. It's not a huge difference, but I'm going to say the Killing Joke special screening as far as the superhero stuff we normally watch, because I did see Mike and Dave, and that doesn't really count. But yeah, Killing Joke's special screening, just it was disappointing. There was all this hype, and then like that first like 20 minutes of just nonsense. And
yeah, there
it's
was
a
a
real.
bunch of shit in the beginning of that. So
It was just really bad. I mean, like the end, the rest of it was okay. It didn't really do enough, I think, to sort of improve the comic. It was just the comic. It didn't like expand it enough. But the first like half hour or whatever, however long it was,
it's about 20-25 minutes.
This whole Batgirl like loves Batman thing, it was just wrong, and it pains me because a lot of this was like a good idea going in, but it was really disappointing, I thought.
Let's see how many of these bad movies I actually own. So, Mike's is The Killing Joke, which I own. I got it for $7.
I think they really missed the mark on that, and it's such a beloved comic that you really wanted to do it justice, but why make such drastic changes to your perception of the story?
Yeah.
There's areas they could have expanded.
Drastic changes.
I don't know. Tony, you can go ahead. Just get your worst movie of the year. You're right. You're
It's
itching.
funny
You're
because I'm just taking Mike's and I'm taking what Corey just said and I'm putting them together because it's Batman v Superman, which is not a surprise to anybody.
No.
Because that was just 2 thumbs down, horrible piece of shit. Like, I was legitimately trying to think about it the other night, and I was like, was it really that bad? I was like, was Suicide Squad worse? I was like, no, I like Suicide Squad, despite some shortcomings. I literally could not think of one redeeming feature of Batman v Superman. Like, at all. At all. Because I've hated Superman since Man of Steel, and in this, he was just fucking mopey and just depressed for no reason. It's like, all right, bro, get over yourself. You're fucking Lois Lane. At the very least, you're fucking Lois Lane. You have no reason to be this goddamn depressed.
He's super depressed, man.
Yeah. And then the Batman, speaking of drastic changes, like, not my Batman. Not my Batman.
As far as drastic change, it's not a movie drastic change, though. On-screen Batman's, that's what you get for live-action Batman.
He has killed before on screen.
Yeah, but not like
every
savagely. Not like, I'm going to equip the Batmobile with fucking chain guns and just mow these fucking people down that I might not even know are necessarily bad villains. They could just be mercenary. Like, you know, like, hey, fire protection.
Batman had chain guns on his Batwing they tried to kill Joker with and completely missed on.
He did shoot a lot of
no.
He did shoot a lot of the Joker henchmen with that gun, though.
No, yeah, there was some of that, and especially
Every
Dark Knight
Batman,
Rises.
live action Batman has killed people. I don't see a big difference there, but
Well,
I'm not saying like there's like a no. Like here's the thing, is like okay, you say that, but here's the thing. I don't care about most of the real life Batman. I don't. I think they're all shit.
Yeah, they mostly have been okay, I'd say, but
Sure.
that's why I like Batman.
But I would say this is the worst one.
And I disagree wholeheartedly, obviously.
But that's fine. But I mean, if you're taking what I think in comics is Batman, like this one, just what does he represent?
This Batman, he's a broken man.
Why?
You see him at his worst.
Why?
Because the movie explains it. He's seen the worst from people, and he's no longer the person he was.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't really need to be Batman. It could just be a broken guy.
Well, I guess it doesn't.
I mean, that's the thing. And here's a huge part of the criticism that I had, and the skepticism I've had for years, is because he just jumped the gun.
Yeah. They did change a lot there. Like they totally took away our Batman that we knew from, and then didn't reboot him. They just kind of pushed him into this universe, and now we miss all of that for this, which is kind of depressing. But I like where we're at because we've seen Batman before, and everybody hates seeing the origin stories over and over again.
Well, we don't know what we're going to get. We don't know what we're going to get with the Batman. Right. We won't probably get an origin story, but...
Right, I'm not saying we needed to have an origin story, but, like, if origin stories, like, on this side, we went, like, to the extreme opposite, where it's like, hey, there's a lot in between this area that they could have started at, rather than, some Robin's dead, like, who knows what happened to Batgirl, blah, 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 this, that, and the other thing. Batman just pissed off. Like,
I mean, that's not the problem. Like, you can start something in the middle, like Star Wars did, and it's fine. But the problem was...
you have expectations.
Yeah, more with Batman, perhaps, than something totally new. But I did think that this Batman was a little too kill happy. That's probably my biggest issue with it, aside from Lex Luthor. And for me, I would watch this movie over Suicide Squad, even though I do think Suicide Squad has a better structure.
Well, that was your runner-up, though, right, Mike?
Yeah, it was my runner-up for... I think Suicide Squad may be, like, mechanically a better movie, because it made more... It had more of a structure to it.
I thought it actually had at least likable characters. That's what I think put Suicide Squad ahead of Batman vs. Superman.
The only likable character in Suicide Squad for me was Will Smith being Will Smith. And he wasn't like any dead shot. He was Will Smith.
No, I know, but I'm okay with that. Like, I was fine with that. I thought he did a better job. His performance in that movie made that movie better than any of the performances we got in Batman vs. Superman.
So more things I would be interested in seeing on a rewatch. I haven't rewatched any of these movies, but I would be more interested in seeing Batman vs. Superman.
I've rewatched a few of these, but
I'm just saying, like, all right, so like. All right, we're past Batman, we're past Superman. Like Wonder Woman, I can't say anything bad about Wonder Woman because she was hardly in the movie, despite her being like such a strong focus of like trailers. The marketing, right? Like it feels like.
Well, I agree. They completely missed on this movie, and it deserves to be in this area for you, Tony. Because you've been hating on this, and you were totally justified in your statements. But for me, I liked this Batman enough where I like the movie enough to see. I want to see more of this Batman.
Right, but okay, I'm getting even away from Batman. But it's like the way they structured, like even the Justice League cameos. Like, come on, really? Like, here's some stuff I got from Lex Luthor. He managed to make logos for all of us. Like, that's cool. Like, really. And then there's confusion with like the stuff they allegedly cut with Lex Luthor and like. How he went crazy and all that shit. And not to mention, Lex Luthor. That is the worst representation of Lex Luthor in any medium I've seen. Because I'm sorry. What's his name?
Jesse Eisenberg?
Jesse Eisenberg? Not a good Lex Luthor. No. Like, Riddler, sure. Joker, I could even, make a pitch for that. But, like, Lex Luthor, like...
How about Calendar Man? Like, just... I want to see a Lex Luthor who's the epitome of like the human race. That's what he's supposed to be.
And that's not Jesse Eisenberg. Like, Lex Luthor is supposed to be angry at Superman because he's at a level beyond humans that humans can never reach. So that's why Lex Luthor, who's the pinnacle of human, whatever, physique, intelligence, evolution, whatever you call it, that's why he hates him. Like, this is just like, man, it's like Jolly Rancher. Like, Jolly Rancher scene was so awkward. Like, I didn't watch the whole movie, but I watched some clips just be like, yeah, I just want to make sure because there's been like 7 months since this movie came out. But
All right.
No, killed all my
enough of this.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, we have.
Corey, what was your worst movie of the year?
I mean, I had Killing Joke on there as well, but I'm gonna go with Jason Bourne.
Oh, that was as I thought more back about it. I didn't think it was a bad movie, and then I was like, that kind of is in my running for worst movie of the year.
Nothing happens in that movie.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing happens at all.
It's a staple, by the way. Now, I bought Killing Joke, and I do own Batman vs Superman. I do not own Jason Bourne. So
Good.
You can see how much lower I hold that movie out of these other three that the three total that we've talked about. But geez, go ahead, Corey. So that was your worst?
Yeah, going back and trying to think of movies that I just did not enjoy or didn't have any redeeming qualities. Jason Bourne was top one. Like, there's no point for this movie to exist. There's really nothing that he's doing in the movie, and the new characters kind of have these motivations that really aren't clear, and then when they try to make them clear, they are the exact opposite of everything that they've been doing the entire film. So it just didn't make any sense, and it was a waste of time. Like, I don't even know what they were thinking making this film.
I feel like it was definitely a wasted opportunity as you look back. It's just kind of like, you finally get these two guys, Greengrass and Matt Damon, working together again, and that's the best we get. So, hopefully in another one they do a better job.
There, that's like unceremoniously as well. It's like, okay.
So, anyway, so my worst movie of the year is definitely Sausage Party. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Didn't even bother with that one.
Maybe I should have said Mike and Dave then.
Yeah. Sausage Party was absolute shit. I mean, that was just like, I can't
a lot of
shit
animation
on
on this list here for everyone.
That's funny because I did hear a lot of people really like that movie.
That's ridiculous. So. It's a bunch of food that just has sex with each other, and when they're not having sex with each other, they're dying.
Okay.
There it is. Sums it up. So,
I mean, the title sums it up pretty much as well. So
yeah, Sausage Party. Yes.
Who wants to be at a sausage party?
But it's not good. It's not funny. Like, I guess the first 20 minutes is fine, and then after that, I'm like, how long is this movie? I just kept looking at the time during it, so that was ultimately the winner. I mean, like I said, I did have Independence Day as my worst until I remembered I watched Sausage Party.
Ugh.
Yeah, Independence Day was terrible.
That's the thing, is you guys watch a lot more movies than I do, because
I do.
I'm very risk adverse with going to the movie theater.
Well, I mean, as we get through these other movies, even last night I was watching a movie that Corey had recommended just to see by chance if it could win for me, because I was like, I better pick this up and see if it's good. So, I own it now because I wanted to watch it anyways, that movie. I won't mention it in case it was your best, but we'll get into that. But the Sausage Party was fucking terrible, and I would say Independence Day very slightly above it. So not fucking terrible, but we'll say god awful terrible.
I don't know. God awful terrible, I think, would be worse than fucking terrible.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, you're pulling in God, man.
You're splitting hairs here. We're splitting hairs.
We've been splitting hairs.
Don't go see these movies.
These are definitely don't go see. And I think Suicide Squad, while it wasn't terrible, I don't know if it was that good, but whatever.
I wouldn't even say mine's a don't go see. I just thought it was disappointing.
Yeah.
I don't think I saw any don't go see movies this year. But again, I saw like 8 movies.
Just mentioned Mike and Dave. Who wants to see that?
If you want a dumb comedy, go for it.
Ugh.
All right, what's next?
Let's get into biggest surprises of 2016. Biggest surprise movie of 2016. I know Mike and I are in agreement here, so we'll go Deadpool. I don't know if you guys are going to disagree with us on this, but I was
I think I was more surprised in the box office, but I was very hopeful that it was going to be
I was not hopeful.
Good.
I did not think that movie was going to be that good.
I'll throw that up there as well, because like Deadpool, I mean, I was interested in seeing it because whatever, like Fox, but I was like, I legitimately like came out of the movie, I was like, wow, it was
good,
really good.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
It just kind of came. I mean, it didn't come out of nowhere. There was a lot of marketing for it, but the whole idea of sort of like I still kind of consider this a spoof of superhero movies in some ways, and I thought that was the most surprising thing about it, that they went like full, sort of mostly comedy. It's not all comedy, obviously, but it's comedy first, I think, and it's just a different change of pace.
Well, they really represented the character very well from the page.
They represented the character and didn't make him quite as annoying as he is in the comics, because there wasn't quite as much
inner monologue going on.
Yeah, or just craziness where they just use the fact that he's edgy and cool Deadpool, and he can do whatever he wants without reasoning. He had a little bit more consistent character in this movie, which I liked.
Yeah.
Because in the comics, I kind of hate Deadpool.
Turning around something like that, here's the problem. Like, a lot of times you get something like, we'll say Ass Creed with Michael Fassbender, which has gotten railed. The guy loves the character. Like, I know he was really invested in that movie. He paid some of his money for that movie. He loved it. He wanted to do that. So then when you hear, like, actors that... I'm using that as an example. Because when you hear actors that do that for a movie, a lot of times they're not very good. Look at Judge Dredd. I didn't think that was a very good movie with Carl Urban.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't think that was a very good movie. It missed for me, and I mean, I didn't see it in 3D, but you shouldn't have to see a movie in 3D to get the movie to be better. It shouldn't be that way. It should be a good movie on its own. So, but then, you know, you hear Ryan Reynolds is so invested in this movie, you're like, I don't know, especially because we got Green Lantern from him before, and I don't know. But, you know, he did a great job. I mean, he pulled it off great. So, I mean, that definitely was a big surprise for me in 2016 for movies. So, Corey, what was yours?
Just because I had no idea about anything going into this movie. Like, you know us, we watch trailers, we read about the news, we know what actors are playing what characters. Like, these things spoil plot points a lot of times. Even just like a small teaser trailer will show you something later in the movie that will tip something else off. And I didn't see anything or know anything or even know that this was a book. But I went and saw Girl on a Train with my wife because she wanted to see it.
I saw that.
And that movie blew me away because I had no idea. It was such a refreshing way to view a film. And I think that's what surprised me more than
it was a cool,
good or not.
I gotta say, it was a really cool ending. Like, it was like...
It's a good ending, but like, it's not like it did anything different than, like, say, Gone Girl or something like that. But like, it was an experience for me. Like, that's what I'm going in with this. The experience was what surprised me the most, I guess. And that definitely resonated, I guess, for this category. And obviously Deadpool is a big surprise. And that was, you know, the second movie that came to mind.
See, now here's the best part.
Was ridiculous. And
here's the best part for us. For us, now if we can pull this off, Corey, episode 8.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm going to try to pull this off without seeing any trailers for this. Now, not seeing any news is almost impossible. But not seeing any trailers, I think we can pull off.
You got to get those filters, those, like...
Yeah.
Macros that just eliminate anything with Star Wars in it.
Again, listeners and viewers, don't expect much in terms of the Star Wars news for that episode. I mean, we've already seen that, you know, there's already seen some news already, but we've reported it. But I know that Carrie Fisher had finished her scenes for that movie, so it's going to be her last. We'll see her in her last film in December.
I think she's going to be in episode 9 too, but obviously not her.
Not her. Yeah. All right, let's go to most recommended TV show before we get into the best of and the most anticipated. So, most recommended TV show of 2016. I'll kick us off because, again, I say it all the time. The 100 is, like, I'm not trying to hype it up for anybody, but it is my most recommended because it is one of the best shows, if not the best show on TV.
I'm surprised. I'm shocked that Stranger Things is not your number one.
I love Stranger Things. Loved Stranger Things. Loved it. But the 100 needs to be watched. Well, mostly because I'm being selfish, because I don't want it to get canceled. I want to have it keep going. It just needs to be watched. It needs to be watched. It does. Even if it goes to shit in season 4, which I have great confidence in them after getting through season 3 and not having a shit show. But even if it does, it's still a great quality show for 1, 2, and 3. So that's my most recommended TV show. I even, again, have given Westworld a shot just to see. I didn't quite finish Westworld. I have 15 minutes left of the season. But
you're almost done, though.
Yeah, I was right there. I was like, it's so close, but I couldn't finish it in time. But I wouldn't recommend it over the 100 from everything I've seen. So, and I've already gotten through most of the twists, obviously. So, all right, Corey, what was your most recommended?
If you're not gonna say Stranger Things, I'd say Stranger Things.
It's respectable. I mean, it's like I can't argue with you because it was such a great show.
That's gonna be my nomination.
I almost forgot about that.
So that's yours, Tony, too?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys, I mean, like that show. I mean, I'm the one that recommended it to you guys.
Yeah.
So I just.
That's why I'm saying I thought you were gonna,
I was shocked because I was not anticipating that. Again, that was one where I was like not expecting anything, and then you get such wow. Whew,
and that's the thing is like it blew up everywhere, and so at the time I was watching, obviously we had the spoiler cast, and I explained some of my feelings, and I highly recommend watching that spoiler cast. There are some interesting
that could
discussions.
be the highlight of our year, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as far as the show goes, I mean, it's beautifully structured and it's well shot. They nail the theme and the era of the show, and I think that growing up with the Goonies and the kind of
E.T.
Stand By Me, like those shows and movies,
and Alien,
it really,
the Alien love.
yeah. I mean, I'm a huge Alien fan, and that's probably gonna come up later. So
yeah.
I definitely would say that's something that should be watched by anybody, and as kids growing up, you can get a taste of what that was like in those days.
Yeah, Tony, add to it.
Yeah, I'll just echo whatever Corey just said. I mean, it was just beautifully done. Is great from start to finish. Like even if there was some like downtime, I don't think any of it was really wasted. It wasn't an episode of like.
But that's where you get
every character had like their moment too, where because some characters, except for one, obviously, I'm not gonna mention,
including Barb.
But like. There are characters you think is just gonna have this stupid like, oh, there's a generic character, and then they have this drastic turn where you're like, oh shit, okay, I'm gonna,
Yeah,
it kept surprising me from start to finish. I mean, the characters are so endearing. I mean, characters I thought I liked, I was like, what, whatsoever. But like a lot of the characters that I didn't like you said, they had like actual changes. Like, wow, like that's unusual. Usually these people are just like 2D cutouts with like no depth to them. It's like, you're the jock, you're the asshole, whatever. It's like, okay. And I was like, oh man, look at that, whatnot. But yeah, it's one of those things where I remember, like, Jim, you talked about it for weeks, and I was like, all right, I'll get to it. And then finally,
I liked it before it was cool.
yeah, because I'm like, I just slowly started seeing like one or two of my friends start talking about it on Facebook, and then a third, and then the fourth. I was like, all right, fine, I'll fucking watch this. I specifically remember like Friday night I came home and I was like, I don't feel like playing a game or anything like that. I'll just watch an episode or two of this, and then I'll pass out. And then next thing I know, I'm like a third or halfway through the series. It's like 4-something a.m. I'm like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta go to bed, but I want to watch more. So it's just like one of those shows that like, if something's binge worthy, like that speaks well for me, because otherwise I'll just be like, okay, click, and I'll just wait for a couple days or weeks or whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, awesome show. Recommend it to anybody.
All right, Mike.
Yeah, I almost forgot about it actually, and honestly, it probably would. It probably is my most recommended show this year. But for an alternate, just to change it up a little, I'll go back to Daredevil season 2.
Okay.
Which is worse than the first season of Daredevil.
It is. That's why I gave it the okay. But like, I understand. Like, the Punisher was excellent in that.
Punisher stuff was excellent. Elektra stuff wasn't as good.
It's not bad. I watched it again that season, and it really isn't. She's not that. Her stuff is actually pretty good early on. It's like later where it falls apart.
Yeah, later, like similar to Luke Cage, which we've not all seen yet.
Yeah. It's got a similar.
There is a little tail off here where maybe it should have been an 8-episode season, like Stranger Things, I think was, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And because those last few episodes just felt a little too long. But Daredevil, if you want some action, you want to see more of that universe, that Netflix universe that we're building towards the Defenders with, it's a great place to go. Has some of the best, I think, the best action on TV.
Yeah, that being said, like, if we were to do a most anticipated TV show of 2017, I gotta say Iron Fist is... Yeah, Corey's got it. I mean, Iron Fist, I really can't wait to see that. I really can't.
Well, yeah, that's up there. I mean, did the Defenders come out this year as well?
Yes.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
March is going to be such a rough month. Like, that's March.
You got your Voltron coming back too,
and
right?
Voltron's January 17th, right?
God, dude.
Yeah,
not enough time.
January 20th. Maybe it's January 20th. I don't know. One of those 2 days. It comes out on that Friday, so the 20th. I think it's the 20th.
So, yeah, they got some good Netflix stuff coming.
Yeah, it's all we're mentioning Netflix a lot, except for the 100. But
regular TV is just not that good lately.
Well, you know what's been funny is like I complain about the long break for these shows, and I actually like it right now because I'm not so invested in these shows that I want to keep seeing all these stories. And so now I'm like playing games. I'm watching Westworld. What else did I check out? I've watched a bunch of different things. Movies. I've caught up on movies that were possibly movies of the year.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to try to watch some movies, make sure of my decisions, and
yeah. So I mean, I'm actually happy for this TV break. But all right, so let's go into the best of category, and we'll finish up with the most anticipated, kind of, finishing it up.
Okay.
But, so the best of category, I think there's a few surprises in here. I'm actually more interested to find out what Corey's winner was, because I know he was on the fence still.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with Civil War.
Okay, I mean, you could come out on it. It's fine. Civil War, I mean, almost swept. Is close for me. But,
I just, there's too much goodness in there.
It's a great movie.
Too much of the stuff that I wanted to see, and Kubo was my very close runner-up.
Kubo was
and again, it goes back to the experience. Like for me, I watched it with my wife and my son, who's 18 months. He sat there with us the entire time watching it. And it was like a very cool experience. And being a father and watching that, it definitely pulls at different strings, pun intended, than let's say the younger single person may experience it. And I think that's probably why it is so high up on my list. And I actually really like the art style. I know Tony.
I like the art style as well. I thought it was cool to get a movie that looked like the old claymations.
Yeah. Well, because they did that. I mean, at the end,
3D,
credits.
Yeah, 3D stop motion is what it was done with. So it was kind of like a mimic of it, but.
Right. It's not Jason and the Argonauts.
No.
But like they show in the credits, I'm building that skeleton with the swords, and that was pretty impressive. Like that is a very well done movie, and the story is very touching.
I thought it was very good. But your winner, Civil War, because
Civil War, it hit. I mean, it really did nail everything that they promised, basically. And you got Spider-Man. Like how can you argue?
Best Spider-Man.
I mean, pretty much we know this now. So
I can't argue this at this moment. I can't argue this at all. From the trailer I just watched, now that I've seen the extra 2.5 minutes of Spider-Man, I'm ready to agree with Tony.
Deadpool, Star Wars, Doctor Strange, all those movies were great too. Yeah. It's just I do want to give a shout out. By the way,
Doctor Strange is supposed to now have a huge role in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Up here.
No.
They said 30 minutes of Spider-Man, Jim. How much did we get?
I know, but they're now saying he has a major.
Seen it.
He has a major role in Ragnarok. He's the third main character for that movie.
Okay.
That's what they're saying. So, Mike, whoa.
Right.
Never mind, Mike. Oh, there he comes back. Mike.
Hey.
Welcome back. What was your movie of the year?
It was Civil War.
Yeah.
What
was your runner-up?
My runner-up?
Yeah.
Deadpool, maybe.
Wow. You didn't really think about a runner-up, did you? Okay.
No, I mean, it's just, again, like a lot of these movies at the top, they're all bunched together. And for me this year, no movie exceeded my expectations, really. This met my expectations, which were admittedly lower than I think your guys' expectations. I thought this was an 8 out of 10 movie. I thought it was very good. It hit what it wanted to do. And I'm excited to see Spider-Man in the universe, even though I downplayed how much he was in this movie because I had bets on the line.
Yeah.
But I was still excited to see him in there because, to me, he's the A-lister that was missing in my mind from this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe that I wanted to see finally get in
Wolverine.
There. No, both of them I wanted to see in there. But I got one out of the two.
Yeah.
So I was glad to see that. That airport scene is some of the best superhero action, probably the best superhero action we've seen, even if it was all play fighting kind of in the scheme of things. But I definitely liked it, and nothing else was better.
Yeah.
That's more. I mean, Doctor Strange was okay.
Yeah.
Rogue One was good, but there was some problems with it for sure. And Deadpool was okay, but it was kind of you can't take it super seriously. So yeah, nothing did better than it.
All right.
So it's got to be it.
Tony, what was yours?
So I mean, I guess if you're gonna ask me a runner-up, I already talked about Deadpool, but I think like just below it or maybe tied. It's hard because in my mind, Rogue One's really fresh in my mind still. So I think
Rogue One was a good movie. Don't get me wrong. I recommend it to see people see it, but I don't think it was even my runner-up. So it wasn't my runner-up even. But
that's the thing is I have some issues with the pacing of the movie, like the first half of the movie.
Yeah.
But it ended really strongly.
The highs were so good.
I really think Rogue One
it took
gets a lot
30 to 40 minutes to get going.
No, but I think it gets a lot of slack just because it's a Star Wars movie. Honestly, if there was any other movie that had that many forgettable characters thrown in, we would be like, "Oh, this is awful."
Yeah, because we can't even say the names of those characters. A lot of them.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
And that's the thing is it's those things that just keep it from being from really good to great or good to great, whatever you want to call it. But I felt like I just wanted to talk about that because none of us really mentioned.
Yeah, we should mention Star Wars. Yeah.
But my favorite is definitely Civil War as well, just because I mean it was my most anticipated this year. I'm pretty sure. But just for me, I think Captain America is really my favorite MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe character, just because, and I've said this before in the podcast, it's just it's the character, I never really cared for him. I never thought he was an interesting comic book character. It was just a relic of the past and, World War II propaganda and just, whatever. It's a relic, literally a relic of, yesteryear. But Marvel did a really great job, even starting with the first movie, just establishing him as a man out of time and a man out of place, because literally, he's just, he never feels comfortable. He never, even in his own era, he didn't feel like he fit in with everybody and that. So I really felt the character was endearing, and Winter Soldier just really cemented that. So I was really looking forward to Civil War, and it just nailed it out of the park. I mean, I had high expectations, but they were tempered because I was whatever, we're going to get Avengers. But the thing is, they really, I think, nailed everyone out of the park. Just they juggled all these other characters, Iron Man,
Black
Panther, which I thought he was really awesome in the movie. Just, they didn't overuse him. They didn't underuse him. They made him pretty likable, in my opinion. They're setting, his movie up without it being too oh, look, there's this new character. And it's just go see his movie later on. It's okay, I can see his opinion because, he was involved in the major events of the movie, obviously. But, I mean, you get the subtleties of the other characters with Scarlet Witch trying to find herself and Vision trying to understand himself. And, you throw Tony Stark and, for as much as it's a Captain America movie, this movie really is a culmination of Tony Stark / Iron Man, which just, you could see the progression of how he started out and then where he is now. And you could totally see his point of view, even though I didn't, I don't personally agree with it. You could see why he goes the way he does in Civil War. So I thought it was really interesting. They did it, in my opinion, better than the comics, because the comics started okay, and then they just went off the fucking deep end in terms of oh yeah, I cloned Thor, no big deal, guys. What's up? This and the other thing. I mean, the Spider-Man, just awesome. Again, just gonna say, best Spider-Man on the live action ever before. Ant-Man, totally representing. That was probably the best part about the airport scene, just that scene with Ant-Man. I'm awesome.
Ant-Man
he stole that. He stole that scene.
He stole that scene. And then obviously have the thing with Bucky and everything like that. So just I don't know, that movie is just really awesome. Still probably not as good overall as Winter Soldier, because I think that's probably the peak of the MCU in terms of just this is the best quality they've ever done. But in terms of rewatchability, I could probably put Civil War on and just watch it.
All right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I can give the clean sweep to Civil War. So it was close.
Dun dun dun.
It's my runner-up. It was close. It's very close. I mean, even while you guys were talking about it, I'm maybe it is. But I'm ultimately going to give it to Disney's Zootopia. I'm going to give
That's so weird.
I know, but it was a really good... I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was... I watched that movie a second time, a week after I watched it. I was I don't know. That was crazy. I hadn't enjoyed an animated movie like that in a while.
Yeah, definitely the second best animated film.
I thought Kubo was overall. I thought Kubo wasn't as strong in the story. I thought Kubo had a. This one, I thought the Zootopia had elements for adults and kids more than Kubo. Kubo was a little bit too basic on certain things. There was some emotional stuff in Kubo. Don't get me wrong, but it was very, very basic also. So that's what ultimately I gave. So I gave it a shot though, Kubo. But Civil War was fantastic. It really was. But there was not. I mean, there were some issues I had with it. I remember. I don't know. Ultimately, I think Zootopia is my winner for it. I like the story of it, where like you have I don't know if I want to give the whole story if people haven't seen it yet, but you have like the basically roles set in society and somebody trying to break those roles. I just thought it was it was a cool way to. It's like in a kids movie, teaching them that that.
There's a lot of underlying themes that apply, especially it's very timely too.
Plus it was just very like the jokes in it were great. I thought they were perfectly mixed for adults and kids, because they have to have some adult jokes. They do. Shrek did a very good job of that in the first two movies. This does a good job of it in this movie.
Well, the Pixar films usually do a pretty good job, and Disney's been on the spot. They've been doing better than Pixar as far as their recent stuff.
Well, that's what I thought immediately. I'm thinking of like Jungle Book and how good I really loved that movie from Disney this year. And that's one of my top movies, but it's not like runner up or anything like that. But it is one of my top movies, Jungle Book. I still would recommend.
Yeah, it deserves a shout out. Yeah, sure. And they both are like talking animals.
Yeah. But yeah, ultimately Zootopia. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. It's really good. It's my movie of the year. So
I'll have to see it. I have it. I think.
Strangely enough, I don't think it's nominated. What? Is it for any sort of Oscar or anything like that yet? Have they?
Well, they haven't. I
thought they put up the nominations for Grammys. It's Grammys they did, right?
I don't know. I did the Golden Globes.
Golden Globes. That's what it was. Whatever not the TV one, but the movie one that they nominated earlier. It didn't get a Golden Globe. So I think that's the one. But
it's going to air till Sunday.
Oh, so. It's not nominated.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway, so that's my of the year. Let's get into our most anticipated of 2017. Mine is pretty straightforward, obvious. I mean, I just mentioned it earlier. Star Wars Episode 8. I can't have a different movie. I can't. There's so much good. Like, I am a huge Spider-Man fan. I am excited for this movie now. I'm not as excited to see as I am to see Episode 8. Because of the questions I have for that movie.
Right. So I'll follow up because Episode 8 is my most anticipated. And, I think Spider-Man's the best Spider-Man. I think the movie's going to be great. But, you kind of have expectations for, what I think that movie is going to turn out to be. This, that, and the other thing. There's going to be certain tropes, this, that, and the other thing. Whereas, with Episode 8, probably follow some tropes. But, the thing is, we're going into, undiscovered territory here. We're moving... forward again with the universe.
We're hoping we're moving into... Well, here's the thing. I gave them credit. A lot of people hated Episode 7 because of the same beats of the original.
Episode 7 is getting, and you're going to hate me for saying this, it's getting a little bit of the X-Men 3 treatment, where everyone liked it when it came out, and then as time goes on, everyone's like, oh, it's cool to hate this movie now. That's exactly what's happening.
It's not hate. I don't hate it. I think it's fantastic.
I know, but there's a trend of people being this movie...
the things that people are saying now, after Rogue One's come out, the things that people say, just as an example, I heard someone say, Rogue One's more of a Star Wars movie than Episode 7 was. Yeah. I'm like, dude, Episode 7 stole fucking New Hope. How are you going to say it's more of a Star Wars?
Yeah, I will say it is unequivocal that as just a movie, Episode 7 is better than Rogue One. I'm sorry.
It is.
It's just a better movie. I mean, obviously, it's a little derivative, but Rogue One, while I like
Episode 7 more than Rogue One.
I just watched both of them within 3 days time span. I just rewatched Episode 7 again. So,
while Rogue One is a new twist, and it's certainly an interesting way to look at the Star Wars universe.
I'm glad I mean, we can't. Obviously, we get some crazy good stuff in Rogue One. It's just
I'm glad too, but it's just. Do you care about hundreds of characters that you see die in that movie as much as you care about maybe one character in The Force Awakens?
No, that's what I mean. So Episode 8 for me, as long as they move past making that Empire, don't make it the same beat as Empire,
right?
Then I'll.
And that's the thing is, I even said that last year where I'm pretty sure they just had to play it a little bit safe with Episode 7, where it's you know what, we just got to reinvigorate the franchise. We got to get get people back in because we just paid $4 billion to this fucking franchise. And then, once then they can go crazy. Because, Rogue One, that never would have happened under George Lucas.
No,
ever.
No.
Like, a movie like that and what happened, that never would have happened.
I mean, dude, Disney's letting, everyone basically die as well. That's pretty shocking.
So, episode 8.
I just want to say, Tony, I'm surprised you didn't say Justice League.
I've actually... The other day, for some reason, it was in my mind thinking, I'm going to skip opening weekend for that.
Oh.
What is Justice League? It's
November, I think.
Is it November? I thought it was July or something like that.
No,
it's definitely not. It's definitely closer to Star Wars, but it's not anywhere close to Star Wars. But I'm pretty sure it's November.
Everybody wants to get out of the way. But
God.
I do know that. Don't forget, Guardians is coming out next year too.
So, I'm
excited
for Guardians too.
Not forgotten. It's just not caring.
And I gotta give the trailer credit. Logan looks like it's gonna be good. The trailer was awesome just because of the music, but that.
Well, what is Mike's most anticipated? Is that Star Wars?
I don't even know. There's a lot coming.
You gotta give
Star Wars.
Jackman's last screen appearance.
Yeah, I know, but I'm sort of hot and cold on his appearances with him. Now it's probably Star Wars. Honestly, Spider-Man and even Justice League. Because I'm just curious to see how I want to see if they can save it, to be honest.
Wait. Let's hold right there. So, let's say that they don't save it with this movie. How many more do you want to see before you say it's dead? The whole franchise.
The universe?
Yeah, the universe is dead.
I'll see them as long as they're out.
My thought now is the more I thought back about Suicide Squad and Batman vs Superman, how much I was disappointed.
The biggest problem is they ruined their two villains, iconic villains, both their versions of Lex Luthor.
That's the problem I have with these movies.
Joker are really bad, and pretty much the worst parts of both movies. Even though people wanted more Joker and Suicide Squad, yeah, I don't. Yeah, it might be better to redo it if they can't go from here. And all these movies up ahead, I'm anticipating. I think Star Wars is probably the best bet to be good, even though my favorite character won't be in it from the universe. But Star Wars is most likely to be good. I'm anticipating Spider-Man because we get substantial Spider-Man in this universe.
Iron Man and Spider-Man flying through New York City.
Yeah, I know. I'm just worried about all the high school stuff and that. I'm worried about Logan because who knows what's going to happen with that. It could be great. It could be awful. I really don't know.
I think there's a high probability he dies. That's my prediction.
Suppose.
High probability.
And then, so Star Wars, I have to go with Star Wars just because I know it'll be the best. I'm anticipating it being good the most and most looking forward to it, but I'm maybe more curious about some of these other ones. But Star Wars, I know will be good, so I'm looking forward to it the most.
Corey?
Yeah, I definitely have to throw Star Wars up there. That's an obvious one, and we're all nerds, so it's pretty much a given. So just saying that's already my most anticipated, I just want to throw out that Alien Covenant looks really good, and I'm super excited for them to go back to Alien and not some stupid Prometheus shit that they did before.
Yeah.
So
I hope it's good. My expectations
gotta watch
are
that Colonial
very
Marines mouth, right?
My expectations are just very low for this franchise now. It just really is. It's been shit on so badly for the video games, Prometheus. It's just. So the good news is they're really low. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see what we get. But all right, I think that's going to wrap up our best of the year, best, worst, anticipated, whatever we have of the year 2016 Moviecast. If you have any questions, comments about this, write us podcast at allgeek.net. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Worst. Yeah.
Huh?
They should tell us what their most anticipated favorite, worst, and
a
TV show. Let's get some TV shows to watch.
Yeah, recommend the TV show to us, please. And keep tuning in. We'll have more great stuff coming this year. Our video games of the year are going to be in 2 weeks, so look for that episode. And we'll have a spoiler cast. Not spoiler cast. We'll have a bonus round, I hope, of Nintendo Switch soon. So That's it.